Hey guys, welcome back to DC Action. My name is Chris, and in today's video, we are going to be starting a new segment here on this channel called The Pages Behind the Curtain. Alrighty, so just to explain this segment a little bit before we get into it, Pages Behind the Curtain is going to be a segment where I go through the comic book that a certain DCU film or TV series is going to take inspiration from. So in the case of this video, Creature Commandos, that is coming out in December of this year, that is 2024, I will be going through the comic book that it has been inspired from. That is the Creature Commandos new edition. The way this is going to work, I'm going to read it, then read you the synopsis from the DC Wiki, because, copyright, I can't read you the actual comic. But then I will also go in a little bit more depth, explaining what happened beyond the synopsis. So, let's get into this first issue. So this first issue is from Weird War Tales Volume 93, and that came out in November of 1980, so it is quite old now. Sorry if anyone's born before 1980, you're not old, just the comic book. And I'm only saying that because the writing style is a bit more lackluster than current comics. Regardless, I'm going to be reading through it. Okay, so the synopsis is as follows. At a Midwest Army base in the spring of 1942, Lieutenant Matthew Shreve of the U.S. Army Intelligence briefed various generals, admirals, and senators on Project M. And Project M is obviously referring to the Creature Commandos. It is more of a colloquial name. This team of the Creature Commandos consists of Warren Griffith, Vincent Velcro, and Lucky Taylor. After witnessing a display of their abilities, a general sanctioned the Creature Commandos, although claiming that he never wanted to see them again. Sometime later, the Creature Commandos are deployed to France, where they assaulted the Nazi-occupied Castle Conquest, easily defeating its defenders. Inside the castle, they came across android duplicates of Allied leaders, including Franklin D. Roosevelt, Eisenhower, Stalin, and Churchill, which were intended to be used in a Nazi attempt to replace the Allied leaders. They were confronted by the Nazis, but were able to fight their way out and escape before a timed explosive device crafted by Shreve has gone off. So that is the entire synopsis. I went a little bit off track in the first little bit there. My apologies, but I did have it on screen, so if you want to read it, go back and read for yourself. Please do feel free. Anyway, now I'm going to go into a bit more depth explaining who the characters are. So we got mention of Lieutenant Matthew Shreve, Vincent Velcro, Warren Griffith, and Lucky Taylor. Okay, so starting with Vincent Velcro. He was a sergeant. For some reason or another, he was going to be sentenced to 30 years in prison. However, he escaped this by joining Project M, and for 6 months, he was injected with various compounds composed of an experimental chemical and blood extracted from a New Mexican vampire bat. And this basically turned him into a vampire, requiring blood to survive off of. Next up is Warren Griffith. From Oklahoma, he suffers lycanthropy. And this is basically a form of insanity in which the patient imagines himself a wolf. And after some scientific experiments, he was able to manifest physically as a wolf, transferring between a human boy and a werewolf. And we will see this throughout the story. Lastly, we have Lucky Taylor, first name Elliot. He was a Marine who stepped on a landmine and got blown up. However, surgeons were able to stitch him together, although not exactly in its original composition. So as the synopsis mentioned, they then went ahead to display their abilities in front of the general, who then sanctioned the Creature Commandos. Heading to this Castle Conquest, we get to see their various abilities, such as Lucky Taylor's strength, Warren Griffith's ability to transform between man and wolf, and Velcro's savagery. Also, I should mention that Lucky Taylor is not able to actually speak because of the reconstruction that had occurred. Basically, he didn't get his vocal cords reattached, so he can't speak and therefore just communicates through his emotions. And he is actually quite emotional in this first issue. He even cries at one point. Anyway, as the synopsis mentioned, they fight their way through this compound and find the android bodies of Franklin D. Roosevelt, Eisenhower, Stalin, and Churchill, which were intended to be used by the Nazis. And then after they explode the compound and barely escape, that is where this issue leaves us. Now, although this comic book is one kind of big amalgamation of a lot of different comic books, I'm going to be splitting this segment for Creature Commandos into multiple different videos covering an issue each. So in this one, we covered Weird War Tales issue 93, and next time we will be doing Weird War Tales issue 97. Now, I'm hoping to get one video out each week in preparation for Creature Commandos in December, and that should bring us quite close to the date there. If I need to do more often, I should probably be able to do that once university's finished in a couple weeks. But for now, just once a week is the plan. Anyway, I hope you did enjoy this video, and if you did, please consider leaving a like and subscribing for more content like this. Please do let me know what you thought about this new segment as well, and any ideas for improvements that can be made upon it. And if you have any other names other than Pages Behind the Curtain, please do let me know, as I'm not a big fan of it and it's the first thing I kind of thought of. Anyways, as I said, that is it for this video. So until next time, this has been Chris, and I'll be seeing ya.